fan of the Flaming Lips for many years now. I've always really liked Yoshimi. I think Yoshimi's my favourite. Yeah, that's my favourite of theirs. They have other good albums too, but I think that is my pick. When I think of like modern psych revivalist type stuff in the 2010s, you've got bands like Temples, Tame Impala, many other artists in that field too. I think because I was such a big fan of the Flaming Lips early on in my music listening days, I guess you could call it, I think those bands haven't really had much of an impact on me, because I've always had the attachment to Flaming Lips, because I feel like they do what some of the modern type bands do way better. Maybe that's a hot take or whatever you could call it. I don't know if it's an agreeable statement, but I do feel like the Flaming Lips have always had more versatility. They've never just felt like a revival of the 60s. They've always had way more to their music, and I think that's why they've always become like this huge band for a lot of people. They've always been this big band for many people in the early 2000s, the late 90s, and they've stood the test of time for years. And we're still talking about them today. We have a new album here, which is getting quite a bit of praise, quite a bit of attention, which is cool for them, because I think in the modern day, to still have that staying power, I think is worth commending, regardless of whether you like the album or not, or like any of their more recent material. And for me, I think I'm on the opposite end of the scale with this one, because I'm struggling to see the hype, and I'm struggling to enjoy this. There's certainly admirable qualities to this album. I definitely think it sets up something in the early stages. The first few tracks, I'm ready, because I think the production is really nice. I think the vocals work well. It's very blissful sounding. The grandiose ending of the first track just made me think this was going to be an absolutely stellar album. And the track after that too is nice, even though it's not quite as lush, but it still has a great aesthetic. They're just tracks that are very warm and pleasing, and you know, the vocals aren't anything amazing, but it never needed to be with the Flaming Lips. It never needed to have the most amazing vocals, because you know, Wayne sold everything he said. He sold every word he said, and that's just what I was expecting for the album. But then we just enter this weird make-believe strangeness as the album goes on with the lyrics, and I just start to lose faith in what's being said. The swelling, wonderful production kind of gets lost, I feel. The following tracks just have these piano chords that feel rinsed and repeated throughout the whole album. Nearly every track just seems to have the same instrumental. I can't even like differentiate some of them, because they're literally the same. The piano chords almost sound identical on nearly every track. Aside from Assassins of Youth, I feel like so many of these tracks just sound so similar, and it gets absolutely tedious. It truly does start to fall apart at the fourth track, where he starts singing about how he wants to see dinosaurs playing on a mountain, and I'm just not sure how high he was when he wrote this, but I think he was high. And I know that's part of like the psych rock aesthetic, you know, weed, drugs, but like, mother, I've taken LSD. I just don't care. Like the way he sings this with so much heart and passion, and I'm just not interested in what he's singing about here. There's sort of like an attempt at emotional value in this, but the way the track sounds so cheap, like the instrumental to me just sounds so bloody cheap. It really sounds like a drunken guy at like karaoke or something. The way it plods along with absolutely no momentum is just mind-numbing to sit through. And you've got the cheesiness of the piano, like nah, this one is no. Brother Eye has these modulated vocals on the verses, which sound really, really sickening to me. Like the vocals on these parts, just no. Again, a completely nondescript piano sort of instrumental, which I can't pick out of the lineup on this album, because I genuinely still believe they all are the same because they are just so bloody similar the whole way through. Which isn't even the worst of it, because you just have these awfully corny lyrics coming out of so many tracks. You and me selling weed, this whole make-believe thing where he's sort of romanticizing this partner he can sell weed with. And, you know, he talks about dope dealing in the track. It's just so cringe. It's so cringe. It feels like a parody, honestly. And if someone in the comments were to say, Ryan, you've got it all wrong, you've completely misunderstood every lyric because it's all just one big joke, ha 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 ha, yeah, fair enough, the joke's on me, but the track itself sounds really poor. And it's not like, you know, if it was a parody or something, which I don't really think it is, because it's just not funny in any way. Like, you got to make it funny if you're going to do it. I mean, give this track to Alex Cameron and tell me he would not completely nail this idea, because he would. But even still, without that, it just isn't very great to listen to because of how the lyrics are written. The whole when we die we're high thing as well, which comes at the end of Mother Please Don't Be Sad, is once again ruthless to me, because I am just being pounded with these lyrics that I cannot stand. So many references to drugs and things on this album, and it's like, where is the excitement to these lyrics? Like, you're just singing about the same thing the whole way through, just from a slightly different context, and it's just so boring. It's like that one guy that won't stop telling you how much weed he smokes. It's like, right, cool, you can do that, you know, but I don't care. Like, tell me about something else, sing about something else, talk about something else, please. You wouldn't care if someone was telling you how much alcohol they drunk in a week. You'd probably be like, well, yeah, you're probably addicted, mate. And, you know, if someone was telling you how many apples they ate in a day, you wouldn't care. Who cares? Oh, these are all the Kit Kats I've eaten today. I ate 12 Kit Kats. It's like, right, cool, talk about something else. There's this edginess to the drugs I think they're trying to, like, make on this album, but they're trying to, like, add this emotional weight to the tracks as well by having these piano-backed instrumentals with Wayne singing in the most uninspiring way on every song. I'm just not inspired by his vocal performances at all, and it just makes the whole thing a really hard journey. Honestly, it's a difficult album to sit through for me. The final song, My Religion Is You, it's probably about someone he loves, I'm sure, but because of every track prior to it, I can't help but think that this track is actually about how his religion is drugs, which might not even be the actual meaning of the song, but because the whole album is focused on drugs, I can't help but think that this track is a religion, a dedication to his religion, which is LSD. It's so funny though when he starts the verses with like, yeah, Buddha's cool, yeah, Christianity is cool, it's cool for you, but you know, my religion is something else. My religion is life, dude. Ugh. I just can't with this, man. It's just not appealing to me at all. These lyrics are often very cringy. The performances are so uninspired, as I've said. I'm just really struggling with this album. Like, by the end, I'm just so tired. Like, I get so tired listening to this. It drains me. It's such a difficult album for me, honestly, which I don't think it will be for many people. And to say that I am a fan of the band, to come out of an album feeling like this is really weird, honestly. But yeah, this is a dud for me in their discography. This one did not reach out to me and you know, give me this return to form type of feeling, which I think many people feel. It is how it is. I've got to go 4 out of 10. I think if it weren't for the first few tracks, I probably would have gone lower, but I did think those couple of tracks near the beginning were really nice. And Assassins of Youth actually has a really great build as well. It has like a really strange instrumental. So I at least have those tracks to go to and say, yes, they got it right here. But that's only like 3, maybe 4 at the most songs that I can point to and go, yeah, they were fine. But the rest of it was a complete miss. Let me know your thoughts though, if you think it's actually a lot better than I'm giving it credit for. I'm sure there are going to be people out there that love this way more than I do. So I'm interested to hear what you think. Thank you for watching. Do have a good day. and goodbye. Goodbye.